If you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, the journaling, the breath work, the cold plunges, the mindset work, but you still feels wired and anxious or maybe shut down and checked out, you're not broken. And you're not missing some magical step that everybody else seems to know about. You just might be skipping over the tools that are actually the most effective because they feel too simple. When you're living in chronic stress or survival mode, your nervous system doesn't need more pressure. It needs small and doable cues that tell it you're safe now. And those cues often come from the tiniest shifts. So today, I'm walking you through 3 nervous system tools that feel almost too easy, but they work. And at the end, I'll give you a bonus, my 3-step safety sequence, the nervous system protocol that I teach everywhere. By the end of this video, you're going to have 3 science-backed tools to help you regulate your nervous system in real life, not just when you're on a yoga mat or in therapy. These are things that you can do right now in the moment when you're overwhelmed or overstimulated at the grocery store or stressed at your desk or having trouble falling asleep. Now, I've been working with the brain and the nervous system for over 25 years. First as a speech language pathologist working in the area of traumatic brain injury, and now as a nervous system coach and educator. I have helped countless people reconnect to safety in their bodies. People healing from trauma and navigating chronic illness, working through burnout, or just trying to show up in life with more presence and peace. And the tools I'm sharing with you today are the ones that I even use myself. They're the ones I teach in my membership, I talk about in my journals, and in my creative workshops because they're simple, they're powerful, and they actually work. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about a grounding tool that uses your senses to interrupt that stress loop. We're going to talk about a movement practice that's gentle and doable and regulation friendly, and then a breath pattern that's backed by real science. And then I'll walk you through my full safety sequence. So let's start with one of the fastest ways to signal safety to your brain. Using your senses. Your nervous system is constantly scanning for cues of threat or safety. This scanning is mostly unconscious, and it's something called neuroception, which is a concept from polyvagal theory developed by Dr. Stephen Porges. When you're stuck in survival mode, whether it's fight or flight or shut down or freeze, one way to interrupt that cycle is to give your brain concrete evidence that you're safe. And so that's why we use a sensory grounding tool. It's simple, it's fast, and it does work. So here's how you do it. And you might have heard of it already. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste or imagine tasting. Now, it might sound too easy, but this is why it works. You're giving your nervous system data to work with. You're anchoring your awareness in your environment and you're telling your brain, look, nothing's chasing me. I'm totally safe. Now, I used this just the other day. I could feel myself being ramped up right before a difficult conversation. And so I just looked out the window and I counted the number of shades of green that I could see in the trees. My body just softens when I'm present with it. Now, not perfectly, of course, but enough to choose how I wanted to respond in the moment. So this tool, it really sends a signal. It interrupts the spiral. It doesn't fix everything, but it does give your system a new direction to move forward. Now, the second tool is to move gently. This one is especially powerful when your system is stuck in shutdown or a freeze state, or even if you're completely spinning and overthinking. The nervous system is wired to understand movement as a sign of life. And when that movement is gentle, it's a sign of safety. When animals come out of threat, they often shake to release excess survival energy. But as humans, what do? We tend to clench and brace or just push through. So instead, what you want to do is you want to give your body permission to move just a little bit. So here's a few options. You can sway side to side while you're standing or sitting. Think of it like the movement that you make when you're rocking a fussy baby, or maybe just gently bouncing on your heels. while you're seated or standing doing those heel drops. You could also shake out your hands and shake out your feet. You can stretch your arms above your head and release then your arms even with a sigh. Or you could just walk slowly while you're exhaling, and you could even use sound while you exhale. So, this is what we call pendulation, which is a term from somatic experiencing that describes gently swinging between activation and dysregulation and to a settling state. It helps you really discharge your stuck energy without flooding your system. So, I know that often in between clients, in between meetings, I will get up and I will do a little shake or a little stretch because it helps my body just feel that shift. You don't need to do a workout. You're just trying to make a small moment. Movement tells your system you're not frozen, you're not trapped, we're here and we're okay. Now, the third tool is a physiological sigh. So, breath is one of the most direct ways to influence your nervous system, but not all breath work is helpful when you're dysregulated. The tool, the physiological sigh, is one of the most effective and accessible breath practices that we know of. It has been studied by neuroscientists, including Dr. Andrew Huberman and his lab at Stanford, and it's been shown to regulate your heart rate, lower your anxiety, and increase parasympathetic activation, which is that rest and digest, that safe feeling of being home, or what I call the zone of resilience. Here's how you do it. You inhale through your nose because you're trying to fill up your lungs. Then you're going to inhale again, sort of like a shorter top up breath. You take an extra sip of air at the end and then exhale slowly, fully through your mouth. You can do it through pursed lips. You can even make an audible sigh. So inhale, a little inhale on top of that, and then a long, low, and slow exhale. And you can repeat that 3 to 5 times, and that's it. This pattern actually mirrors how our body naturally sighs when we're relaxed or how we naturally sigh after we've been crying. You can use this tool in everyday moments. You can do it right before you check your email. You can do it before you walk into a conversation with somebody. You can even do it while you're stopping at a red light. And it works because it speaks your body's language. And like all the tools that I teach, it's simple to remember when your brain is spinning and you feel out of control. Now, the last thing I'm going to give you is to go over my 3-step safety sequence. You've got these other 3 tools to try, and I just want to give you the one more, which is the foundation of all my work. Like I said before, it's the practice I teach in my journal, my membership, and every program that I run, and it's called the safety sequence. It's a protocol that you use in real time. So the first thing that you do, step 1 of the sequence, is you ask, am I safe right now? And we're not talking about emotionally safe or spiritually safe. We're actually talking physically, practically, am I safe? So you're going to look around. Are you safe in this exact moment? Not 5 minutes ago or not in 5 minutes, but in this exact moment. And you can start to name the evidence. Like, look around. The room is quiet. The door is locked. I can hear birds. I'm sitting on a chair. I can feel my feet on the floor. This tells your neuroception to update the story. You're not in threat. Now, step 2 is to ask the question, do I feel safe? This is where you check in with your internal world. How is your breath? Your posture, your jaw? Do you have tension? Do you have pain? Do you feel stress? Is there numbness? Is there tingling? And this is building interoceptive awareness. What's going on inside you? Your ability to feel and respond to internal cues. This is where regulation starts to build over time. Now, even though I've listed them as step 1 and step 2, they're actually interchangeable. Sometimes you will notice what's going on in your body first, and you'll want to check in with that first, but you'll still want to establish safety for your brain because your brain will never relax if it actually thinks it's in danger. So we have to confirm that we're practically not in danger in our environment. If you are in danger in your environment, then you do want your nervous system to get activated. So these are the moments where we're safe, we're not in danger. We send that message to our body, we send that message to our brain. And then step 3, we acutely relax our body. And acutely relax. You maybe will do that quick scan. Where are you holding yourself? Are you clenching your stomach, your jaw, your hands? And then what you can do is you can try the physiological sigh to relax. Or what I love to use is the ragdoll, where you just drop in your body and allow your muscles to go limp. You can also just clench something and then unclench it. Or you can just do an audible sigh if that's easier. What you're doing is you're showing your nervous system what being calm enough feels like. Not perfect stillness, but just softness to shift your state. I do this safety sequence, I don't know how many times over the day, not because I'm always dysregulated, but because I'm training my body to come to safety over and over and over again. So, which of these tools are you curious to try? Drop in the comments below a 1, a 2, a 3, or the safety sequence. And if you've already have a go-to regulation practice that works for you, continue using it and please share it because you never know who it may help. And if you found this video helpful or it gave you something new to try, hit the like button and share it with someone who needs a nervous system reset. If you are looking for a space to keep practicing this work, come join us inside the Nervous System Journaling Club. This is where we mix nervous system science with creativity, with community, and with micro moments of safety all in one place. Because truly, you don't want to pressure or hustle your way into healing. It is the simple that will often make the biggest change. I hope you found this helpful. I'll see you next time.